Welcome to this Filmora masterclass. I'm Sean Kitching, a full-time travel YouTuber and filmmaker. Today we are going to be covering cutting to music to enhance your storytelling. Matching the visuals to the audio you have selected is a fundamental part of bringing this little piece of film to life. And it's a part where I find my little video really starts to take form into what it's going to look like at the end. I think it's really important that you guys spend a lot of time finding the right track to pair with your visuals. There's so many videos that I see these days that are using music that just isn't correctly paired with the footage, and in most cases it significantly overpowers the footage. Remember that your music that you select should be there just to complement and further enhance the story that you're trying to push with your visuals. It shouldn't be something that is incredibly overpowering and dominating your footage. A nice way to think about it is, would this video still be nice and enjoyable to watch if there was no music? Would the visuals alone still work without the music that you have added onto it? So once we have found that perfect track, we can start cutting our footage to actually match the music. One of my favorite parts about the editing process. Filmora offers us an amazing tool called Auto Beat Sync, where we can literally just click a button and it will start cutting up our footage and lining it up with a lot of the beats in that music. The first part of editing to music is making sure that all of your clips that you do have are cut on the beats so that everything forms nice and smoothly and is more visually appealing to watch. This takes a huge process out of doing this manually by placing each one of your clips onto where the beats are in your music track. So having Auto Beat Sync in Filmora is a huge help and a massive time saver. Something I like to do once I have used Auto Beat Sync is I like to mix up the little pockets of cuts within my edit. I find if you cut every single clip on the same part of the beat, those cuts become predictable to the viewer, making your video just a little bit more boring because they almost know and expect where the next cut is going to be. So I like to keep these little pockets, maybe a few clips I like to really draw out and play. Maybe it's a slow motion one where there's a lot going on and it is valuable enough to hold the attention of the viewer. And then following that, I could have a few quick cuts of some action scene that will be sporadic and significantly different from the slow one. This also works really well in the form of copying the movement of the actual track you selected. Generally, a lot of tracks will have some slow build-up beginning, then a crescendo where it drops and all the action happens, and then it kind of tapers off towards the end and kind of plays out nice and smoothly. This is a nice way to follow. In the beginning, I'll have slightly longer, slower clips, some of the more smooth and like drawn out slow motion things. Then at that crescendo, where the music maybe speeds up a little bit, I'll place a lot of my more action and high energy scenes that we filmed. And then towards the end, again, I'll taper it off to some of my longer, slower clips, kind of just slowing it all down to end that. A scenario I often find myself in is one of not having a long enough track for the amount of footage I have, or not having a short enough track to create some form of short form content like a reel. Most tracks these days are 2, 3, or 4 minutes long, and often when creating something like an Instagram reel, you maybe want to do 15, 30, or 45 seconds long. This is where Filmora AI audio stretch can be vital. You can stretch out that track or shorten it down to match how long your video is perfectly without having to be a little DJ and splice that track all together to make it work. So this is something very valuable, and I'll kind of work through my edit and I'll make sure that I can cut down the track to either be short enough, or if I'm doing some long form content for something like YouTube, I can also just stretch it out. That's going to be it for this one. I hope it was useful, and I will see you guys in the next one.